I am here. It's been a minute, right? Y'all, life been lifing. Life has really been lifing. I was on TikTok this morning and just trying to get my mind right. I got to get used to going on TikTok because that's where, creatives are going and they're getting compensated for their working for their knowledge and everything. And of course, it takes time to build things, but well, that's where everybody's going and seeing results. So I have to get used to that over there. So I just went over there to sit, and I was putting some new paper on my tarot card reading board, and just sitting over there. But people pop in and out. It is what it is. YouTube is my first love. I've never made money on YouTube yet. I still have a ways to go. It's so hard to build. It is so hard to build. I'm telling you. They're making it more difficult and difficult with the algorithms, but whatever. Nevertheless, I can't focus on that. But I decided by way of spirit, I was like, what should I be doing? What should I be saying? Because I was over there just putting things together for my board, like I was saying. And spirit was like, go on YouTube, go talk to people on YouTube. So here I am. We are still doing the series, Which Craft Do You Prefer? And life has been lifing. A lot has been going on. I've been facing a lot of challenges, y'all. It has not been easy. I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now. But today I want to chat with y'all a little bit about the black arts and specifically giving you information about coffin nails. I feel like I need to clear the energy. I have my incense going because this is a topic that's controversial on so many levels when it comes to spirituality. Everybody has their own insight when it comes to talking about it, but I want to give my personal insight about it today. All right. So let's just clear the energy. Spirit, we just thank you for this time together. We thank you for this information. We ask that you be in the midst of this. You orchestrate this live in the way you want it to go. I thank you for those that will come and listen. I thank you for those that will come and listen to the replay. Just use me for your spiritual glory. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay, so when it comes to black arts, as y'all know, I am a hoodoo practitioner. When I first came into it, that's just a thing. That's just a thing. When you come from religion into spirituality, the first thing I'm mind hones into, I want to be a such and such of light. I want to represent light. Okay. And oh, I'm not going to deal with the dark stuff. I'm doing, but that's not a balance. Okay. That don't even make sense if you really think about it, because you can't have the yin without the yang, right? How is it that good things happen, bad things have to happen? How is it that bad things happen because of good things? It is like a cycle of life. And when it comes to religion, and the way people teach within the Bible and other spiritual books is, bad, 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 evil, evil, evil. No, sometimes bad is a good thing. It balances life. It really, really does. And I really, really got to understand that, being that I am a hoodoo practitioner. I really got to understand that. So when it comes to black arts, it is necessary. It is really necessary. And there are people that will study black arts unapologetically. As a matter of fact, they will study arts unapologetically. All right. So people get on here acting ignorant. Okay, it just depends on who you are. I feel like it depends on your bloodline as well. And also with me, I think it depends on your understanding and your path. That's what I believe. So before we get into coffin nails, which is one of my favorite things to work with now, I would have never thought with spill work. Let's talk about the black arts. So, black arts or black magic refers to magical practices intended for selfish, listen to this, selfish purposes or harmful purposes, such as cursing, harming others, or gaining power, often involving taboo or non mainstream practices. It can also refer to the illusion principle of black art, where black objects against a black background become invisible to the eye because it's used by magicians in stage illusion. Now, let's talk about it in occultism and esotericism. It's unlike white magic or the right hand path, which follows a moral code for benevolent purposes. Black magic is characterized by self serving intentions and a rejection of social conventions. These practices may involve rituals, summoning spirits, or using spells to harm or curse others, though the term can also encompass any path that is considered taboo. Historical context. During the Renaissance, many occult practices were deemed evil or irreligious, leading to their association with black magic and persecution by institutions like the Inquisition, Inquisition, something like that. Okay, so the illusion of black art. This is a specific stage magic. Okay, that's about the magic. Okay, uh, the part. Okay, so overall, the distinction often depends on the intent, right? Black magic in the occult sense is a path of self-serving power, while black art and illusion is a visual principle used for entertainment. Okay, we're talking about occultic purposes. All right. My thing is, being that I am a melanated woman, okay, with dark skin, and when we look at things, and how we are presented to the world, and when it comes to different phrases, belief systems, definitions, why is it that they always deem black as evil? I feel some type of way about that because they call us black people. Why is it that black is evil and white is good? Okay, that really makes my skin crawl, right? So why is it that what they deem as the black arts got to be something selfish, got to be, something bad? Why can't it just be a balance of things? Because even when I'm looking at it now, even when it comes to the yin and the yang, right? I love that whole setup of that energy. Okay, the yin and the yang. The yin is white and the yang is black, but they come together to form an equal energy because you can't have one without the other. You can't have one without the other. And so when I started my journey and I opened up my magical school, I had a gentleman come to me that wanted me to teach him magic, but he wanted to study. He felt more drawn to what they call the black arts. Did I turn him away? Hell no. Did I teach him? Yes. You saying, how could you have taught him if that wasn't your thing? Well, I always consult with spirit, okay? Because I know that our thought patterns as people, our flesh, you know, our background, we so quick to judge people before we ask spirit, right? So I went to spirit, and spirit was like, yes, teach him the basics, and he can build on that. And then when I did the reading for him, it was definitely saying that he would operate in the black arts. That's just who he was. Okay. It didn't give me a sound from heaven or nothing like that. He's going to hell or whatever. That's just who he is, and that's what he will flow in. So I began to just walk my journey. And as I started connecting with people, I started to see that differently. I started to see that differently. Even as a practitioner, in hoodoo, dealing with certain things and certain requests from clients and stuff, and I started to see good and evil differently. What we perceive as good, what we perceive as evil differently. And it all always say it depends on the intent. Then looking at the judicial system and how they sentence people in certain circumstances versus other circumstances, what's deemed as, self, protection or whatever, self defense, was not. I began to look at things differently. Also, spirit began to show me things, and shit started happening to me, and people started doing things to me, and I had to defend myself within my practice. I look at good and evil totally different. All right. So now let's go down the rabbit hole a little bit further, talking about protection magic. If you are going to study as a practitioner, if you are going to do any type of spell word, baby, protection magic is not white. What they say, white magic, because you're protecting what's yours. Okay. What is sweet and cherry and whipped cream about that? And sugar and honey? Nothing about it. Okay. You're protecting yours. And so as I began to get these requests in, and as I started walking through something, I realized that I have to do protection work. It's necessary, especially if you are powerful at what you do, especially if you are called to this. You're going to be asked by your spirit guides, by your ancestors, and other deities, okay, that you work with, and deities too. When it comes to the African Orishas, their energies, you'll start to see what good and evil, dark and light, all that shit entails, right? Especially working with them. Also with hoodoo, what do you think hoodoo is about, family? Hoodoo was created so that our ancestors could protect themselves. It wasn't, oh, I'm just, gonna do my practice and, I'm gonna be so. No, they were snatched from their territory. They were forced into a land. They were forced, from royalty into some slavery shit. Do you think they were thinking about love and light? I want y'all to really think about this. And so it makes my skin boil. It makes me sick to my stomach when I hear practitioners on this love and light shit and they're talking about their hoodoo practitioners. Ain't no way in hell. You are not a hoodoo practitioner if you on some love and light shit. No, ma'am, no, sir. Okay? So when it comes to, protection work, I quickly learned that when it comes to me and mine, I'm going to do what I need to do. There were some things that me and my family were facing and walking through, and there were things that spirit told me, different types of spell work that spirit told me to do, that wasn't pretty. It wasn't ice cream lollipops or none of that. It was like graveyard dirt, black salt, black candles, say this, do this. I was like, whoa. And I tried to brush it off. I tried to push it to the back of my mind or whatever. But I have an ancestor altar. Even my ancestor altar represents the yin and yang. My grandmother told me from her spirit world, I would do the darker magic. Your mother will handle the lighter magic. This is what from my ancestor altar. And I lived with my grandmother, and she was not something to play with. Okay, she was not something to play with. And so when I was like, oh, and I ignored it. I pushed it to the back of my mind. So when shit started happening, people started attacking me just because they know I practice. I had to do what I had to do. Because people will come at you. Even family members will come at you and say, did you put a spell on me? If you do this, you do this. People that you will mentor and try to help that would act like or feel like they have excelled you. And now it becomes a competition. And so I've seen my craft evolve in such a way that I really thought in the beginning, I'm saying to myself, Ty, you really thought in the beginning that you could just stay love and light? What the fuck, girl? You are a warrior. You are a fighter. What part of you is just all love and light? Because I'm sweet, I'm kind, I'm loving. I will give you the shirt and the skin off my back. But you cross me, come on, squabble up. So how did I even think that I could just be all love and light? Because you come for me, you come for mine, you're gonna have a problem. Okay. All my life I had to fight. I mean, I was not a troublemaker, but some trouble always came for me. I was minding my business, doing my thing, and people were always jealous. And I was telling my daughter this, I would find myself in situations as a young girl, backed up in the corner, where girls would like two girls wanting to fight me. I always had people wanting to jump me. I'm like, damn, what did I do to you? But people get in their own way. They get jealous about things you have nothing to do with. You can't help what you look like. You can't help your gifts. People get mad at you. People get envious of you because of shit you were born with. Tell me it ain't so. Tell me it ain't so. People really get angry with you about that. And so what are you going to do when you're crossed? It's either fight or flight. Baby, I'm going to try to flight, try to avoid the situation as much as I can, but back me in the corner, get in my face, put your hands on me, it's on and popping. So there's, I was like, let me get my mind right, because even in my 50s, baby, I will do what I got to do if faced with the consequences. I don't know if people look at me because I smile, I laugh, I got a little innocent face, that, I'm not about that life. I am. I grew up in the hood, okay? I've had fights in there all my life. I'm not just making this up. I had girls scratch up my face. It took years to get my face clear. But first thing they go for my face, like, why are you angry? Because my mama and my daddy got together and created me. Why are you angry? I can't do shit about that. You can't do shit about that. People get jealous of you, who you married to, what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you're in, what kind of job you got. People get envious and jealous. And jealousy and envy, they are murderers. That's the death. They're murderers. They want to kill you. They want to, you know what I'm saying? It's really, really bad. So going back to the black arts, there's no way you can, in the yin and the yang, as I was telling you about my grandmother and my mother on my ancestor altar, you can't have one without the other. So stop it. Stop it. Don't even ask for me to be your mentor. If you say, I just want to learn the light, I'm going to say, get the hell out my face. So you want to be out here in this world vulnerable. Y'all see what's going on in the government. Y'all see what's going on with the guy that's over the United States. I don't even want to say that person's name. Y'all see what's going on. People running up in people's houses, children getting snatched, sex trafficking or whatever. How are you going to have a practice of magic and say just light? You can't run out of the world with just light. And then that part of you to say, oh, just love, love, love. Love, okay? Passionate love, really? If you really have love for your family, will drive you to do what you need to do for protection. There is a lady on YouTube. I forget her name, but she teaches hex magic. That's all she teach, and I love her channel. Okay, I think she's Hispanic. She is something to reckon with. I love her channel. And so This is how I got to the place of working with coffin nails and graveyard dirt. Because if you look in the spell book that you begin to study, roses can't protect you. Okay, lavender have some protection properties, but all this pretty love and light shit, you're going to start to see stuff like graveyard dirt, black salt, whereas they want to deem it as bad. But black salt is hella awesome for protection. I make black salt, and my black salt is nothing to play with. Okay, you'll start to see these different herbs and different recipes come up for protection, and you're gonna have to use it. If you are a real practitioner for real, you're gonna have to use it. So now let's learn about these coffin nails. Um, have I worked with them? Yes. What results have I gotten? I've gotten some bona fide, hella fide, don't fuck with me results. And it's become one of my staples. Graveyard dirt and coffin nails have become one of my staples in my practice. So here's what they look like. Okay, they're rusty nails. Okay, I got mine from my trusted local Botanica. They sell authentic stuff, and I've been shopping from them for a while. And I use these in my spell works. Okay, so let me tell you all about coffin nails. Through all the ages, many bizarre and unusual practices have been employed into the burial and funeral rites for the deceased. The Egyptians built the pyramids for the royal mummy's resting place. Some people choose cremation and then store the ashes in an urn. In Mexico, sugar skulls are distributed upon the Feast of the Dead, each bearing the name of the receiver. Their purpose is to familiarize the receiver with idea of death. In New Orleans, a jazz band accompanies the recently deceased to the cemetery, playing a requiem of mournful music, and after the burial, changes tempo to an upbeat, light-hearted rhythm. Death is still the truly great unknown, and both fascinates and frightens us all. Is the ultimate goal of a black magician. The most common burial place, the deceased in a coffin made of anything from a plain pine box to caskets covered and decorated with satin, velvet, or other flashy material. By natural association, nails that have been taken from a coffin and then used in a magical evil spell have been alleged to be more powerful than those using a new nail or pen. The concept is that whatever caused the death of the person from which the coffin nail has been taken will transfer itself by contagious magic and cause harm to the recipient of the spell. Any evil spell is laid to gain potency when coffin nails are used in place of the generally prescribed pen. A medicine charm designed to bring sickness and ill health to a victim calls for 1/2 pound of melted wax and a bit of hair or fragment of clothing belonging to the enemy. If clothing is used, cut or tear it into multiple tiny pieces. This mold then mold the wax and cloth or hair into an image of the person to whom harm is intended. After the doll is ready, take a coffin nail and prick it multiple times, repeating, "It is the heart that I prick. It is the liver that I prick. It is the spleen that I prick. It is the brain that I prick." The ritual is repeated each evening for 3 consecutive nights. After the time, wait 9 days. If the victim is still unaffected, the caster must take a different spell. Reason being, the victim has been protected by counter magic or another form of protective witchcraft. In Africa, an image is made of an enemy and held in readiness. Whenever one feels threatened by the enemy, a nail is wedged into the image, and this protects from any evil intended by the foe. A modern spell to cause an enemy to go mad is done with a voodoo doll, a coffin nail, and black arts oil. All right. If you wish to cause an enemy to move away from you, an almost unfailing ritual can be performed with 9 coffin nails, some graveyard dirt, and a crossing powder mixed with getaway powder. Another modern spell, which is designed to bring tragedy to an enemy, is made with a piece of wearing apparel from the intended victim. Take the clothing and cut it up into as many pieces as you wish or get from the material. All right. To protect yourself from all dangers, carry a coffin nail. This is one I really, really like. In your pocket, in a case or pouch of some kind, or wrapped in brown silk. As long as this is your pocket, no one can successfully perform any vengeful spell against you. Another protective use for coffin nails is to have one always soaking in a bath of oil or salt, which you use. Okay? Whether you use coffin nails for good or evil, you see what I'm saying? You could use it either way, but it's necessary. Keep in mind that the ledger giving is taken from various occult sources and are given as uh, curiosa only. No guarantees are made, supernatural claims intended. Any results obtained from the use of any ritual related is sole responsibility of the magician, and unless one is willing to accept this obligation, one should not attempt magical means for solving one's vexation. So coffin nails is something that I totally use in my practice and have gotten results. If you would take anything away from this live today, look into it for protection. Look into it for protection. Black arts is needed because when I was, in church and, some horrible things happened to me, I was physically assaulted, sexually, and violently, by someone I deemed as a spiritual leader. And so things have happened to my close family members, things have happened to my friends. And so as I began to journey down my path, one of the main things I wanted to learn to do was protect my peoples and protect myself. So what people have to say when it comes to the black arts, when it comes to coffin nails, when it comes to blood magic, when it comes to um hexing and cursing, I really don't care what they have to say because everybody's situation is different. There's no way that I am going to be disengaged or love what I do so much and not consider protecting myself and my family. It is what it is. So today, for witchcraft do you use? Let me know in the comments how you feel about the black arts. Okay. And for those of you that said, karma come back to you, baby, I got a whole topic for that as well. I got a whole teaching for that as well. But I don't want to go down that path. But I just wanted to share my insight and to also let y'all know that this right here is my absolute favorite alongside of the graveyard dirt and other things that I do. And so you saying, well, how do you use it for yourself, Queen? Like I said, I use it for protection for my home. I went through something recently, and the individual showed up in my dream. They sent things in my dreams because they practice too. They sent things in my dream. They try to put their hands on me in my dream. What was I to do? I couldn't love and light. I had to get up and I put the spell work on TikTok. Go look at Queen Tayi Speaks. You'll see the spell work. So I learned that's actual spell work that I do. Those are my videos. That's actual workings. And I put a chant with it and I share it with everyone else. And so once the working is done, there's nothing nobody can do about it. And those that engage with those videos, they can thrive and utilize that energy for their own personal gain. So it's a dirty world out there. It's a dirty world out there. It's just some things still are in different places. It's the same energy, but different faces. Okay? Jealousy doesn't go away because I'm a spiritualist. Hatred does not go away because I'm a spiritualist. Violence does not go away because I'm a spiritualist. You know, people trying to sow discord does not go away because I'm a spiritualist. And so now I have the tools and the knowledge and the wisdom to protect myself and my family. And there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can preach to me to deter me from that. Because I'm tired of living in this world with so many mean and disrespectful people and not feeling protected. I got to do what I got to do, and you have to do what you have to do as well. So look up Coffin Nails and let me know what you think. All right, let me give you our closing information about this topic. All right, let's do an overview. In hoodoo, coffin nails are a powerful iron tool used in both protective and aggressive spiritual work, serving as a token from the spirits of the dead. For protection, they are driven into the four corners of a property to create a barrier against negative forces and unwelcome spirits. In baneful work, they can be used to represent a person or to nail a target to their wall, and they are also used to enhance spells and connect with ancestors for guidance. Okay? In hoodoo, protection, they ward off evil, unwanted spirits, or general negativity. Connecting with the dead. As a token from the realm of the dead, coffin nails can be used to connect with ancestral spirits to gain their guidance and assistance in spell work. Aggressive magic, what we call bane work. Coffin nails can be used in spells of control or jinxing to symbolically nail a person or situation, or in curse magic to seal a target's fate. Anchoring spirits, they are used to anchor spells or intentions, providing a grounding point for magical workings. Symbolic carving, coffin nails can also be used to carve symbols or markings into candles for candle magic to infuse their energy. Why coffin nails? Symbolism of iron. The iron in the nails is known for its protective qualities, acting as a barrier against negative energies. Token from the dead. The name coffin nail highlights their symbolic connection to the spirit world and deceased individuals, giving them potency in rituals involving the dead. And historical significances, the use of reclaimed or antique nails adds a layer of historical depth and connection to past generations. So there's different sizes. When it comes to purchasing them, I would not purchase them online unless I knew the person or that um facility, that store or botanica. I go in stuff like this. I go into the store. Like I said, I go into my trusted store and I get these things for protection work from them. And if I have any questions or concerns, I can talk to one of the employees there. Okay? So that is my 200 cents on the black arts and coffin nails, my absolute favorite. Okay. All right. Check out my shorts and you can see some of my workings there. The most recent one that I did was of a black candle, and you can't see the coffin nails, but around it is black salt and all of the corresponding herb. And I stuck the coffin nails into the, you know, my herbs and my dirt below the candle, and disposed of it today. I am also going to post a short on how I disposed of it. So there's nothing nobody can say or come to me or come for me when it comes to protection work, because as a melanated woman and as a practitioner and as a mother, a grandmother, you know what I'm saying, one that's very protective of her own, I am going to engage. I am going to do protection work whether you like it or not. And those of you that feel the way I feel, please do that for yourself as well. All right. Again, I just feel like somebody needs to hear this. People are running up in houses and shit like that. And it gets tricky when it gets to the judicial system, because you shoot somebody, they run up in your house, they may lock you up. But if you do your working, you do your magic, you don't have to worry about that. You let the spirit world take care of it for you. All right. You need me to do some work for you? I'm here. I'm here. Look for me on TikTok under Queen Taiji Speaks. And also you can find me all on Facebook. Just reach out to me and I will be happy to help you and assist you wherever I can. Okay? All right. That's it for now. Which craft do you choose? This is the Queen signing out. Bye bye.